just doing it.
Oh, and now it just starts. You don't get the cool 3.
None of that. No,
None
we're
of that.
here.
You don't get any of that.
Oh, hey, I got a live. Here we are. We're live.
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
And they added a few things, so now I can do the camera and I can present to myself. Okay. Anyways, man, it's been months. I think November, Nerd Farmcast episode 46, if I remember
It,
correctly.
it, it couldn't have been that long. What are you talking about, November?
Oh man, let's see here. Okay, January.
No.
January.
There we go. You see, a little better. But it has been months by this point
Yeah.
because now we're slowly approaching April. You know?
Yes.
Was there demand? Were the fans just like, where did they go? Where are these guys?
The funny thing is that I look at the posts and I don't really pay much attention to how many hits they get, but I don't think anybody reads our podcast posts. But what's funny is they're actually some of the more popular posts that we do. No one tells me that they're paying attention to the podcast, but apparently they are. So.
Oh. Okay.
But.
Well, hey. So should we do the introductions there, friend?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it right now.
Tradition.
Everyone, I am Burke. You know me on Twitter as @BurkeBeNice, and my associate here.
I am Kevin. You know me on Twitter as @KevinApocalypse.
All right. And I think, Kevin, I had a few ideas for this podcast, but you brought up a lot of the, I think the early points we'll get, and then I want to do, I definitely want to talk about the Division. I want to talk about Firewatch. I want to talk about, have you beaten Firewatch yet? God. I hate you.
I'm so sorry.
I hate you
sorry.
So
I've been very busy. But I'm a simmering level 26 in Division now, buddy.
I know.
So you had to pick and choose.
I saw you moving up the ranks, and I was very proud of you because as I was getting demolished in the Dark Zone, and not by random people, just by fucking AI. Anyways.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think we can start with.
What do we got?
I think we can start with the two things I know that you want to talk about first in the podcast was the PlayStation 4K, or 3.5. What do you want to call it? I'm going to call it the 4K because that's what seems like to be the rumor about it. And then about the Xbox 1.5. So what do you got for us? What for the PlayStation 4K? What would you like to talk about it? Bring it up.
What do I want to talk about it? So this is an interesting thing because in previous generations we have had like remodeled systems before. Absolutely. Like going back to the PlayStation. PlayStation had no. Let's go back in time a little bit further. Super Nintendo.
Sega. I was going to say Sega Genesis.
Sega had 3 different
Mega
versions.
Drive. Oh yeah, the Mega Drive and then the regular Sega.
Right. So it's not unheard of for like a remodeled system, but that's not what's going on here. It's nothing on the exterior that's being remodeled. It's essentially the same PS4, but they want to add a better processor and apparently 4K capability. And it's interesting because how many years are we out of the gate on PS4s right now? 3 or 2? I think this would be the 3rd year, wouldn't it?
This is going to be year 3, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. So some people are like, wow, that's really soon to kind of outdate my console. But at the same time, the potential for a better processor means that, look at the new 3DS that just came out. You can't even play some of the newer games on your older 3DS anymore, like Hyrule Warriors. Like the frame rate dips to the shittiest lows possible.
Yeah.
So what if we get there with consoles where they're just starting to kind of adopt that PC mentality, which is like, well, sorry, this is the newer hardware. This is what's going to run. Are we going to run into, Call of Duty 2 years from now where we can't even play it on the older PS4s?
I doubt it. Unless they do some dancing emotes that they have to add into it. Those motherfuckers.
Which actually I would be really disappointed if they didn't in the next game at this point.
Oh my god.
I need my emotes, man.
Oh man, those are so bad. But I had read some rumors on it, and the reason I call it the 4K is like you talked about, where it'd be the 4K processor. And I almost look at it as the technology is getting there, and I think they said it wouldn't be till next year. Like it's going to be a while.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
but as you look at a console, I don't know how many games would require you to have more of the better processor, but I think people who are buying the 4K TVs would like that. They would spend the extra money for that PS4 to make sure they can get the full potential out of it for the 4K. And then
Mm.
there were some rumors saying it was going to be like a skinnier edition of it. But you look at the PS4, it's not fat by any
No,
means.
it's pretty sleek,
It's
like
pretty
already.
sleek already as it is.
I
Um,
mean,
and then I just I can't see it to the point of like PC level where you're going up every year, every 2 years.
yeah.
But I just see it as Sony being smart and saying, "Hey, we have to up this processor. We can be more powerful if we'd like, and then we also have a consumer base that would like the higher resolution."
Hmm.
So, but it's a year away. I'm not feeling right now. I'm not feeling gypped. I'm not feeling like I'm missing anything. Um, I'm
Not me
not too
neither.
I'm not too familiar with the Xbox One and a half. Um,
Those were, I mean, I think it was like one comment was made by Phil Spencer about there being like kind of a newer edition of Xbox coming out, but that was just it. It wasn't really any solid information.
yeah, and then
But
the news coming out today is the ability to make any Xbox One, which has been, yeah, it's been about 3 years. So the PS4 has been 3 years because the Xbox One's been out 3 years also, and
hmm.
uh, any Xbox One can be a dev kit now, which is um,
Oh,
which is pretty cool. But until you read the fine print, if you're a developer, I think it's great. If you're the layman, I'm not going to say you're a layman, but I'm a layman when it comes to like game development.
how dare
Uh,
you?
yeah, I didn't call you. I said I'm not going to call you one. Uh, the it's very easy to make it into a dev kit. You just get the free app, but then there's a bunch of the fine print. You have to have Windows 10 installed on your PC.
Oh,
You have to have the Xbox One hardwired, which I do, but I know a lot of people do Wi-Fi, but you have to have it
I do.
hardwired. You have to
Hmm.
have your Xbox One. It's like a Windows account um, that will be accessed for your Xbox One and on your PC. And then they say they can't promise that every standard retail game will actually work on your Xbox when you get the dev kit. And I don't know what the reason is. Yeah, it's very strange. Uh,
Hmm.
and you have to have 30 gigs free to use it. Um, so people who only download games maybe don't always have 30 gigs free. They say the other bad part, which I thought is, let's say some of your retail games don't work, like they're saying they possibly won't. If you want to have it not be a dev kit anymore, you have to uninstall the app. But when you uninstall the app, you also what it does is it takes your Xbox One console back to the ground
Factory
factory
settings?
setting. Yep.
Ooh, so what? It essentially formats the console?
And that's what I think it's doing, and it's supposed to, uh, like we talked about on PS4 with the processor. They talked about it's only using when like up to, I think they said like 245 megabytes or something, and then soon it'll be up to a gig of its actual processor or something like that. A bunch of numbers that I told you I'm a layman. I don't quite understand. So
Okay. I mean, and the one corner, it's like, man, that's a lot of caveats. But the other corner, it's like the people that would be interested in that, I don't think they would really like. They would know on the offset. Okay, well, this is my dev kit Xbox. I'm not really. Yeah, it's not my retail ready one. I can't
exactly.
expect it. Yeah, it's not like whatever. They would get it on the side anyway,
Yeah,
knowing
and
that.
that
Like it,
and as I said, the same thing with the PS4. Like Xbox One dev kit is cool for the person who wants to be a developer. It's not going to be their main console, but if you're the
yeah.
PS4, the PS4 point, PS4K, you've already upped it because you're going to get more space. You're going to have it for the 4K resolution, so it is
I'll
what it
be there on
is.
that. And then, well, the Xboxes are now doing the crossplay, apparently.
Yes,
Although,
yes,
again, caveats galore, which is it's up to the dev if they wanted to even include that feature. And most devs, I've talked to one person who was actually working on the Overwatch team, and they're just like, it's a goddamn nightmare to make that happen.
I can
Like it's
imagine.
cool, but just the coding and the legwork involved and the upkeep, it makes it a nightmare. It makes it almost like let's not do that.
Well,
So,
and I think there's also cost involved
oh
to make
yeah,
all that effort. You have to pay somebody to do that, and not a
oh
lot of the
yeah.
developers don't have the money to do that,
Mm.
especially in our volatile gaming industry. Unfortunately, you make a game, you get fired.
Yep.
To have that upkeep, you have to pay somebody, and maybe there's not people there. So
Right. So it's out there. You're able to do it, but you got to think on the backside, which
all
is
right.
it doesn't make. Oh yeah, it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
make sense financially whatsoever. It's just like, you know what? You bought it on an Xbox. You're gonna play with Xbox players. Sayonara, kids.
Well, in a fun thing today, Dead Space is now available on Xbox One. So
Part one.
uh,
Part one.
part one,
Part two is
yeah.
the best. Come on.
Part
Come on
two,
now. Part two is the best. You know you want to say it. Just
man,
let it out.
I don't want to open up the can of worms.
We're
It's
going
like
back in time to have this fight.
I know
Like that space is dead already.
Dead Space One.
Yeah.
So many things right though. Like it was the game where his name's Isaac, right? It's Isaac
Isaac Clarke.
Clark. Isaac Clark. Yeah.
Yeah.
I swear to God, we've had this conversation before.
He's
But
yeah.
it's slower
Did we?
paced. It's darker. Isaac wasn't
Yeah.
just like the first Silent Hill. He was a
Yeah.
miner, the writer on Silent Hill, but
Well, engineer. He was an engineer.
engineer. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I just really liked the feel of the game. I think two move the story. Oh yeah, the story's way better. The game moved better, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But um, I think if I had to go back and I pick one, I would say that I would always play Dead Space One.
You play one? Well, it's Alien to Aliens, man. You
Yes.
know?
Oh no,
It's
that's
like
that is a fantastic comparison.
comparison there. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's what it is. But some people still prefer Alien to the experience that Cameron put down in the sequel, and I agree with that. Both are fantastic games, and you know what everyone else agrees with? Alien 3, like Dead Space 3, is kind of garbagey.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes. Did Dead Space 2 have multiplayer in it, or did that only start at Dead Space 3?
that was 3.
Okay,
That was
because
only 3.
the multiplayer was garbage.
Yeah.
But that's what I was gonna say is over time, I always loved Aliens more than Alien for the longest time,
That's
and I
me.
think not saying that I matured, but as I started to watch more films and really looked at the writing and actually what Alien did for the genre and for sci-fi, I'll be Alien all day. Younger, I'd be like, oh, Aliens is the best. Game over, man. Game over.
Yeah.
But now it's all about Alien.
Okay, and that's fair. I will always be a defender of Aliens because that's my favorite film. I think it's the perfect film.
Oh, I
It's
think
perfect.
Aliens is fantastic. I will not take away from Aliens ever, but I'm going to say if I had to choose one, just for being a strong film, I will pick Alien.
Yeah. We're actually getting Fox announced today. We're getting an Alien Day on April 26th in reference to LV-426.
Yes.
Where the first two films take place on.
But they said at the Alamo Draft House stuff, and I don't have an Alamo Draft House to watch it at, so hopefully some theater will bring it in because I would love to see Alien on the big screen. Absolutely.
Oh yeah! Oh my god!
And Alien.
Speaking
of which we talked about today, celebrating that, I'm gonna try to get my hands on some of those coolest kicks.
The Reebok ones that they're doing, Ripley's freaking kicks.
Yeah, I may not do Ripley's because those things are pretty gnarly. But
are you gonna do Bishops, huh?
I would probably look towards Bishops. Yeah, because Bishops are more I don't know, actually wearable, I should say.
True. You don't want to have like a kind of an outfit mismatch game going on there with the Bishop ones. It might happen with Ripley's wear. That's true.
Ripley's are like boots. You have to tuck your pants into them, and if you cover them with your pants, what's the point of having them? They just look like regular shoes.
Right. I didn't even see a price point on those. Are we?
Oh, dude.
Is it bad?
So let's put it this way. So when the Back to the Future kicks came out, I don't know anybody who ever got their hands on them, and I think they were immediately going for like $1,500. It was stupid.
No.
Oh yeah, but I can't see that with the Alien. I think Aliens is very popular, but we're not talking Back to the Future.
Yeah, we're not talking 1,500 popular.
But going back into the past, I know what day was the 20th anniversary of Resident Evil? Or what was it, 25th, 20th?
That was last Tuesday.
Yeah, because whenever we talked about it.
Last Tuesday. Yes.
Is it the 20th? The 20th anniversary? 25th?
20th. We're on the 20th right now. 20 years of Resident Evil, my friend.
And how did I not write a post about 20 years of Resident Evil? It's probably because we talk about it so much. I mean, you can literally...
I don't know. I did.
You did? Oh, see?
I mean, dude, I run the Red Herb. Like, I had to write it. I did.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But I mostly talked about part 2 instead of part 1 because, that's the one that impacted me. I know you're a part 1 kind of guy.
I am.
Which is fun.
And there you go. That's you're Resident Evil 2. I am Resident Evil 1. You're Aliens. I'm Alien. I don't know which Silent Hill you prefer, but
2.
Like, all day I'll go Silent Hill 2. Yeah. So that's by far the best Silent Hill. Silent Hill 2.
Oh my God, yes. There's none of them. Let's not get into the downfall of Silent Hill.
Yeah, we're not going to get this. Let's just put it this way: like Silent Hill 2. Not that it was an incredibly scary game, but it still haunts my dreams with the music, the textures, the lighting.
Just the weird irreverence, like the dude eating pizza in a bowling alley, ignoring all the mayhem around him. The thing is, Silent Hill 2 succeeded at giving you the whole bad dream fever. Like, it's a nightmare you walked into. Nothing makes sense. Why would it make sense? Don't even try to, like, a cult did it, or no. It scrapped all that crap and said, you're stuck in a nightmare and you're stuck till the end. Love that one. But no, we're Resident Evil. 20 years, my friend.
20 years. Let's not get off track.
No, we're talking about Silent Hill. What the fuck? No, that's so disrespectful. What are we doing? So, 20 years. I know personally I wrote a post about, how when I was 10 when I started the series, which I don't know if it's appropriate for a 10-year-old, but then again, going back and like looking how schlocky the first few games were, especially in their storytelling, it's like, nah, it's kind of perfect for a 10-year-old. It's just a little bloodier than what, parents would be comfortable with.
Yeah, and it's really, even when I talk about Resident Evil 1, you can make the argument, it's bloody, but one, there's zombies. You're not killing real people. There's giant spiders. There's giant, they call the hunters, the big green monsters. The
frog clawed monsters that jump at you and can tear your head off. And then we got a giant snake hiding in the attic. Yep. We got what else is giant in that game? I know we're missing one more animal.
There's a few.
Giant shark. There's a giant shark as well.
I hate sharks. Absolutely hate them. And so I'm sitting here, I think as a kid, what Resident Evil 1, whatever year that came out, but we
96.
talked about before, it's the first or second PlayStation 1 game that I ever owned. So I'm sitting here playing in the dark, and I'm just, so it's 96. So I was born in 82. I'm dating myself here, but 82, so 96.
You're dating yourself? You egotistical man.
Carry the 3 divided by 2. So I was 12 or 14 years old, give or take, whenever I played it, whether it came out in 96, whether I played it in 96 or 97, whatever.
Well, I was 6 years old in 96.
Yes.
Not the date at all.
And I don't forget that, by the way.
Okay.
And I'm sitting here, I'm going to do, because actually the cool thing with Google Hangouts is the fact that you can see what I'm doing. But I walk down the stairs, there's some water in the basement, some water in the...
It's a little wet.
It's a little wet down there in the basement / laboratory. And I was... and here's this big fucking thing around the corner. That's the biggest nope. The biggest nope moment. I look at that. Just ran as fast as I could. I don't think I wanted to go back down there for the longest time, just because I knew that fucking shark was going to be down there.
Yeah, I mean, so the one thing that stuck with me is that like there was kind of a stopgate for me with me entering the series. There was a point where baby Kevin, 10-year-old wee lad Kevin, could have never like continued the series ever again because in Resident Evil 2, you open up, I don't you remember. You
Yeah,
open
oh
up
yeah.
and you're on the city street where oh my battery's lowering. Hang on, I'm gonna plug in real quick here.
Oh jeez.
Oh, jeez, unprepared. Okay, anyway, um, and you're stuck on the street, and there's like 6 zombies chilling around there. It's a very tight street, and you got to basically like get past them. I couldn't do it for the life of me because like it was such a. I was used to playing like Zelda and Mario and things where it's like when you find an enemy, you either
Hmm.
jump on them or punch them to death. There's no problem. If there's an enemy, it means you attack them. So I was thinking the same thing where I was like, okay, I have a gun here, let me shoot at him. I only have 15 rounds and like 6 to 7 shots takes only one of them down.
Yeah.
So what do? I was just like, what's going on? And it was the first game to kind of teach me. It was like, no, you have to run past them. You have to think realistically here. You're not going to punch these guys or knife these guys. You need to conserve those shots. You need to keep moving. You need to be smarter. And it kind of blew my mind for what a video game could be. It wasn't just like, oh, let me get to the next platform. It was like, no, let me survive. You
Yeah.
know, it always stuck with me.
There's there's a there's a reason that everyone remembers playing Resident Evil as Jill and not Chris, and that's because Chris started with 6 bullets and a knife, while Jill started with, I think, 2 magazines, or at least a gun
Mhm.
and a magazine. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's reasons, and she has a lockpick. Like there's reasons of Resident Evil 1 why Chris doesn't play it as much. Uh, but yeah, when I first started playing Resident Evil, and we talk about it quite often, uh,
I
wasn't that it
make
was
you
in,
talk about it
let's just
all
saying
the
that
time.
over and over again, I can say in my head, if you wanted me to map out the mansion, I will map out the mansion for you right now. Put a piece of
Right.
drafting paper, roll it in front of me. I'll start fucking measuring things 1 to 1, 1 to 1 of the mansion. Resident Evil 2 um, goes a
I
little
could do
crazy.
that for Resident Evil 2.
It goes a little
It's
crazy though because you have
it's
to go down.
intricate.
Yeah, you go down to the
Hmm.
bus station or the
Right.
subway, whatever it is.
The subway.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, the
Or no,
subway
it wasn't a
terminal,
subway. It was like this weird. Um, it's a train,
train
but it
terminal.
goes down instead of forward.
Yeah.
Kind of ordeal.
So the
Yeah,
the Resident Evil 2 goes a little crazy, but
it does. And the one question that I kind of posed was just like, what? 20 years of Resident Evil. What is it that resonates with people that have kept this franchise like alive for so long? Because there's some franchises back in the past that we covet that are not here today. In fact, Silent Hill is one of those games where it's like it has struggled to stay and keep up with the times.
yeah,
Whereas Resident Evil, there's always one. There's always, we just had 6, which was this big event blockbuster game, which, although it was a mixed bag, it was still here. It still did things. So is it that Resident Evil is willing to kind of reinvent itself throughout the years, at least have like one big reinvention every console generation, or is it just that we're so fond of the original trilogy that every time you bring up the name, we're just like, yeah, I'll check it out. I'll see what's going on.
yeah. I wonder if, and I think it comes down to how can I say this? Like, it's easy to say. I'm gonna try to say it the best I can. Um, it comes with the characters, I believe. Resident Evil, even to 6 now, or up to 6, you've always had Chris, or you've always had
Hmm.
Jill, who went to
You know,
3. You always have Claire. Not
or Lee.
always.
Not always, but you
Not
have like
always, but I mean they're in it.
Leon and all them, and Ada and all them. Like it
Yeah.
does. And the interesting thing about Resident Evil, unlike other games, rather than at this point, Resident Evil uh, could have suffered the reboot syndrome that a lot of
Hmm.
games have, but instead it'll reboot its mechanics and yet still have a continuation of its storyline, which is interesting. So you actually age with these characters. Like, Leon's like in his 40s now.
Yeah.
And the games openly admit that. They're like, oh, yeah, they started out when they were 19 or 20, but they've actually aged. And it's like there's very few franchises that I can name that actually have kind of aged their characters almost in real time.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Link is continually Peter Pan. He doesn't age. But I
Yeah,
think I will put it to the strong characters because Final Fantasy. There's still some Final Fantasies being made, but it's always different characters.
always.
Silent Hill had a bunch of different characters.
Hmm.
So the only thing I can attribute is the mechanics were solid. It has a storyline and characters that it will continue to build on, and I think even though people don't admit it, they are always drawn back to those characters, whether it's
Hmm.
a good game or not, just because they're familiar. And I think that's part of the reason that it's survived so long is just strong characters. Is part of it.
Right.
But we both know our love of Resident
We do.
Evil. Let's
We
talk
do.
about my love
What we got?
for a
What we got
indie
going on?
title called Firewatch that you have yet to
Never.
complete.
Come on, man. And I enjoy the game a lot too. It's the thing. I just have
I
not had the time.
Let's just put
Or
it this way:
yeah,
I beat
drop
it
it on me.
twice. I
You
beat
know,
it twice.
okay, which is amazing.
Uh, with two, the ending's essentially the same, but
Yeah.
with two, I played um, Henry two different ways just to see how the
Mhm.
game worked because it was that intriguing to me. Uh, when you went and you saw the girls, you had to yell at the girls for lighting off fireworks.
Okay, I got there.
Did you pick up their boombox by any chance?
No, actually, I didn't touch the boombox.
Okay.
I
Well,
kind of yelled at them.
let's put it this way. I picked it up and I was like, "Bitches," and I threw that thing in the water. And later in the game, I'm talking and she's like, "Did you do anything to him?" And I'm like, "No, I just scared him off." I was like, I threw their boombox in the water, and I'm kind of like, there wasn't an option that said throw boombox in the water. I just did the action of drop it and it threw it in the water. And apparently the game realized that. So I was like, the next time I play
Hmm.
through, I'm going to take the boombox and I'm going to carry it all the way back to my tower. And he didn't mention anything about throwing the boombox in the water because it never happened. Um, Another thing is the first playthrough. I tried to be uh, loyal to my wife with. I guess can I say spoilers? Like, wife has Alzheimer's. Okay, so
Yeah,
spoiler. You guys
that's
have been
that's not even a spoiler. That's like in the introduction. She
okay.
has
Good. Good.
early onset Alzheimer's. She's like in her middle-aged woman, and she gets it, and it kind of throws the main character Henry's life into disarray.
Yeah, and so I'm looking at my review right now, so I can figure out what is. I'm trying to figure out the other chick's name who's across the street, across the way. Her name is.
Oh,
I'm
I forget. From the other tower.
trying to look at her
Cindy.
name here.
You wrote a review for
Hell yeah, I did. Dude, I beat the game. I beat the game twice.
All right.
There's gonna be some dead space here as I'm trying to figure out the chick's name here.
Well, in the meantime, I will just put my eye to the camera.
No,
Huh?
here's what it is. Her name. Are you familiar with one Tom Jones?
Uh, yes. Is her name? It's not unusual.
No. His other fantastic song, which is Delilah. So her name's Delilah.
Well,
And
okay.
I tried to be loyal to my wife because in the beginning I wanted to take care of her myself, but I couldn't. So finally I gave in, sent her to her home, talked to Delilah, never really let on when she says, I feel special being with you, blah, blah, blah. You'll notice something where Henry's ring is there, and it's always
Mm-hmm.
there. And when he puts his hands on to lift himself up,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like emphasized. Your hands are always emphasized, and I always notice the ring on his hand. Um, and I was like, I wonder if that changes. So the second time I played through, I put my wife in a home. Blah blah. The choices you make at the beginning are not happy choices ever. They're very
No.
selfish.
Yeah.
but I held off not talking about my wife to Delilah for a long time, uh, and then I also uh, started coming on to Delilah a lot earlier, and you start to notice that earlier in the game your wedding ring is gone. So when you go and you move,
Oh.
and I'm like, oh, that's very interesting. Like that's crazy that they kind of did that, and that these are the things that make Firewatch really special for me, and
Mm.
that's why I'm so disappointed that you haven't finished it yet. How far are you?
I returned to the watchtower after the first instance of there being like, a stranger very obviously there. No, I'm a little bit past that actually because the watchtower already got trashed.
Yep.
Things were stolen. Um, Damn, it's been weeks because I remember I was at PAX South when I was playing that game in my hotel room.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, dude, it
I
gets
feel so bad.
if if you have time and it's not we're not playing the
This weekend.
division. Yeah, because
Well,
I'm gonna force you to play some division with me so we can actually go into the dark zone, which we'll talk about soon after this. But
which I
um,
have done.
just take note on Firewatch. Anybody who's listening to the podcast, I will suggest Firewatch to anyone. It's a
Yeah.
walking simulator, so it is kind of slow in some areas. But like I said, just take note of everything going on. There's some things that happen later in the game, and just be like, "Wow, I really was doing that," and it noticed that. Um,
Hmm.
the wedding ring thing, the every conversation you have with somebody or anything is almost all being recorded, very much like a Telltale Games. Um, and there's a point at the end of the game where you'll be most likely maybe heartbroken. Some really sad stuff happens, and so I think Campo Santo did a fantastic job on the game, and I'm really impressed with it. And will I play it a third time? I don't know because I kind of played it both ways. So,
Yeah.
uh, but I enjoyed playing it the entire time, both ways. Used all my wife made a joke because I used all my uh, disposable camera, and she's like, "Leave it to gamers," because I hate hiking. And she's like, "Leave it to gamers to go hiking and take pictures of the environment without actually going outside to hike and take pictures of beautiful scenery." Uh,
Oh,
yeah.
Jeff.
So, but
Hilarious.
before we move on to the division, which I want to talk greatly about because it's consuming
Never played it. I don't. I
so
don't know
much of my life,
what is it even? I don't.
is there anything you need to talk about before we hit up the division?
Well, you don't care about Final Fantasy, so tonight means nothing to you.
Well, I mean, you can talk about Final Fantasy if you want. I just have no zero input.
I
Zero.
understand. Fantastic. So, well, it's a little journalistic thing. Um, so tonight they're doing an event in LA for Final Fantasy 15, which the rumors spinning around were that they're going to kind of talk about the release date and what they're doing. Apparently, GameSpot came on the scene despite having very probably signed some NDAs about the
Yeah.
event because I think they're signed, and they dropped the release date, and they even revealed the grand surprise. There's going to be a brand new demo for the game coming out on consoles tonight that you can download, and it's not even like a portion that's in the retail disc. It's like its own precursor for free. And Square Enix they got their ass a little chapped about that, but they tried to deal with it, with some tuxedo level class, and kind of went to Twitter and they were like, just be excited anyway.
Yeah.
So almost pretty much confirming that the leak is true.
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah, can you watch anyway? Because we put money into this, bros. And that kind of sucks because I understand yeah, it's tough because you want to give some of these companies the ability to surprise us. And then sometimes it's like, well, we have that itch to know what's going on behind the scenes. We want to know beforehand. And it's like, where do we really draw the line? Because obviously GameSpot's only doing it, because they want their views. They want
Yes.
people fucking flooding to their site and being like, oh, they got the scoop, and rather than give the company this ability to give a surprise to the fans because they obviously made this whole fucking event for the fans and it already got the steam is gone.
Yeah. Uh I write a blog. Me and you just do a blog, whatever. And but GameSpot
Yeah.
Forever and a Day are trying to. I guess everyone's trying to get hits, but I see GameSpot being notorious for being shady, like constantly. Like, wasn't it years ago where they had the Dorito Gate, where they were obviously getting money for reviews from Dorito and Mountain Dew or some bullshit? Wasn't that GameSpot?
Were they reviewing Doritos and Mountain Dew? Like,
No,
what was going
no. It
on?
was like Activision or something was giving them money or Doritos. Look it up. I'll Google.
Was that the Kane and Lynch debacle of
Oh
so
my
many
god,
years ago?
dude!
I think that wasn't that Games Radar or Games
No,
Games Slappy in the face. I don't.
it was GameSpot. It was GameSpot.
Was
And
it
something
GameSpot?
else. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I put GameSpot at the same level. No, nobody's at the same level as IGN. IGN's fucking Huffington Post, Gawker, ClickFlate.
Okay.
But GameSpot, I think, is close to being that. But I agree with you where it's tough. They want to get the hits, and Square Enix isn't in a good spot. Their E3 was unimpressive. They put all this money into something that's not impressive, and then
right. And it's like they wanted that steam. They wanted that gust underneath their wings, And then here comes GameSpot being like, fucking, this is what they're doing tonight. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, they wanted that awesome black tie event.
Right. And it's just like, I would have let them have it. I would like, you know what? We'll report it at the same time as everyone else. Like it's fine. But whatever.
Well, here's the truth. Like, people are going to read the stuff they prefer. I don't like IGN. I don't like GameSpot. If something went up at the same time, I'm going to probably go to Polygon, or I'm going to go to Kotaku, or I'm going to go to Vice. Gaming is more of like editorial stuff, but I'll go to Vice. So even if GameSpot reported it first, I don't even know if I would look at it. I'd be like, it's GameSpot. I'll just wait or read it where I want to read it.
Yeah, true enough. All right, fella. So, are we there? Are we there?
I hope we're there. I've been chomping at the bit.
You're itching. Oh my god. Oh my god. Right. Okay. So, come on. Lay it on me.
So, we're going to talk about The Division. We're going to talk about The Division.
What?
A game that I liked way more than I thought I should ever like.
Same.
Since the beta. I played the beta, and I couldn't stop playing it. So much so that when I got the real game and you were able to get your Ubisoft points, games, whatever, it was like,
whatever.
You get all these points because you played The Division for 12 hours. I was like, the beta was 3 days.
When did I do that?
Just to put that perspective, the beta was 3 days, and apparently I played for the 12 hours. So if that tells you a little bit about the beta.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have my badass firefighter turnout coat. I'm a girl.
That's all you talk about. Are you a girl?
When it comes to customization, yes. I love to make my
because I was like, you're very bearded and broad-shouldered for being a girl avatar in there. I don't.
It's a hormone thing. I'm actually a female Viking, so they have beards.
It makes sense.
But I did try to make my guy look as Viking as possible. So he's got the big beard. Right. He's got the awesome under makeup.
My guy looks like a cross between Liam Neeson and what's his name?
Keanu Reeves.
No, I was thinking more of the
Nathan
guy
Statham.
from the Professional.
Oh.
The French guy, the Frenchman.
The
Jean.
His name's Leon.
No. Well, yeah. I'm thinking his real name. He was also in Godzilla 1998, which is a classic for us 90s kids, but you were too old to appreciate its brilliance.
It's definitely an awful movie. That's for sure.
No. Maybe you don't remember the little baby Godzillas.
Oh God, here we go. The Professional from. Was it really 19? No way.
What? Which one?
I'm stupid. It's Leon something, the Professional, right?
Leon the Professional.
Leon the Professional.
But in the Americas, we only knew it as the Professional.
His name is Jean Reno.
There we go. I knew it was okay. Anyway, you can come with me as I get a beer because apparently we're going to talk about the Division.
Yeah.
So
And
We go
so
on an adventure.
the ever-growing console MMO. It's a great RPG. I think the thing that's lacking on RPGs, they actually gave you
Mm.
different choices to make different characters. But since when you play the game, every option's available, so you can build your character any way you want to. So it doesn't make sense to have multiple characters because you can build talents and perks at any point. So having multiple characters doesn't make sense anyways.
No,
But,
not really.
We'll talk about more in-depth stuff while I go over the general. RPG, level up your character all the way up to level 30. Go to the Dark Zone. You get ranks. The top rank is 99. And the Dark Zone is supposed to have better gears. The PvP area, everything around the Dark Zone is PvE.
So the top rank for Dark Zone is 99?
99 times.
That's insane. Ugh. I'm
Yeah.
scared for a second. Wow, I didn't know that. That's kind of crazy. No wonder, like, because I know some of the gear vendors are like, no, you got to be a level 30 to get this. And I'm like, damn, that seems like, is that max level? I wonder to myself.
No, it's rank 30, and then I have some of that gear. And then the next rank up to buy the next best gear is rank 50. So I don't know. I don't know what the purpose is for rank 99. But now,
I mean, you rank up so much faster than you do like in the regular game. That makes sense.
And that's the other thing is where I was farming pretty easily until level 30. When level 30 hit, let's not go that far. Let's go back to PvE.
Where are we going back?
We'll go to PvE, and the story. People are complaining about the story of the Division. I think it's pretty straightforward, and I actually like the story.
Pretty much.
Even though I'm level 30, I'm still going through kind of all the side missions, just completing all the missions and finishing the final story mission. And I've enjoyed every part of it. I like I like how the weapons have different depth. Like the assault rifles are different than the light machine guns, and every assault rifle is different than another assault rifle. Some machine guns, shotguns, everything has its own feel, and you can kind of get what you prefer to play with. And then I think the gear could use some work. You don't really notice a lot of gear changes. With it's mostly all weapon based. I don't know if you've noticed that at all.
What, with the weapon attachments, like the magazines and the underbarrels and all that, or do you mean like the actual gear mods?
Like the gear that you wear. I haven't really noticed. Like I can take more hits if I have this gear or whatever. It's just kind of stuff you put on.
Right. No, I agree. Because it always tells you like, oh, your health is increased or your damage per second's increased. I'm just like, I feel no, you're right. I don't really feel. What should have happened was that there should be more kind of perks or skills attached to your gear, whereas that's more character based, and even some of your weapons have like skills when you get to like the legendary guns.
Yeah.
But the gear, not so much.
And the skills and stuff, the skills and everything I'm learning are great in PvE. As soon as you get to PvP, the skills, which I guess we can go in depth right now on a bunch of different stuff. Are you still with me?
Did I disappear?
Yeah, you disappeared. That's right. It's right.
Am I back? I'm back, aren't I?
You're back. There you go.
Hey, now I can see myself in the little corner there. It's not just a red herb. Oh my God, I'm handsome. Oh,
I got scared. I got scared because my
my
screen over here went into save mode, and I was like, did it just kick us off the internet? Because then you went to the red herb. But
no. Hi.
The things you will notice on PvE, the skills that you use work really well. The Seeker Mine, the turret, all that stuff. When you get to PvP, anything that has to do with healing is so overpowered that it doesn't make sense to use anything else. The damage of your skills is so little, and your healing is so good that it makes zero sense. So when you go out and you actually, I've been to the Dark Zone. I'm like really weathered now. I'm like scary in the dark because I go out there alone. So because I don't have friends that are there yet.
You're insane. You're like the Punisher.
Yeah, I did the post, the post on the Nerd Farm, which is Lone Wolf in the Dark Zone, because I have no friends
I know.
that are there yet. When you get there, I'm going to force you to come in the Dark Zone with me, because 2 people is still even way better than 1. Most
Well,
people are nice. They do, because when you come up a person, you really don't know. It doesn't say a rank. It doesn't say anything. So you really don't
nah.
know how deadly this person is. Uh, and I'm pretty deadly, but what I've learned is that surviving is easier when you have all the healing stuff, because you're not gonna damage the person enough if you have in PvP, if you have your skills like a seek. Cause I had the flame turret and the seeker mines. I would die before my turret would actually get up, set up, and start blowing flames. Now PvE it works great, but against the regular person, they kill me so fast that my turret wouldn't even get a chance to come up, and I was like, what is going on? And so the healing right now is really overpowered. So essentially think of it this way. If you're going out and you're fighting somebody, if you have you heal yourself, like the perk, which almost has it has a perk that can almost over heal you. So you have that. You have a health pack. You have your special, like your end perk, which is both your right bumpers.
Mm-hmm.
I do the
Yeah.
I do the 80. It's 80% damage resistance. 80%. And so I put that on, and it's all about survival. And you have to unload literally a whole assault rifle clip into somebody, a whole submachine gun clip, reload, and then start firing again. Because if they're doing the same thing where they're healing, just fucking forget about it, right? The times I die is because I'm reloading, essentially. So when you come out to that's the my only complaint right now with the Dark Zone is the healing is so overpowered at the moment.
I've had a different experience in the Dark Zone than you. I've literally have not fought any human players. Mostly, in fact, it got just the opposite. We created this super group at one point where I was traveling with at least 9 people.
Oh, jeez.
Where we just kept on gathering more people. We're just like, hey man, there's more of us than there is of you. Join us or die. And it worked. We became like this roving cadre going through, and we literally did maybe 4 to 5 evacs where you get your gear sent up to the helicopter in just one session. It was so successful. One guy went rogue, and it was the worst mistake he ever made in his life. One dude kind of showed up and thought he could fight us, and there's 9 of us, and it was like, sorry, done.
And that's I can tell about my experience, but that's what I'm really liking about the division right now. So when you go to the Dark Zone, you don't know what you're going to get. Are you going to have this 9-player militia, or are you going to have? Because I've been in, like I said, I'm pretty weathered. I've spent a lot of time in there.
Yeah.
I've gone one-on-one with a rogue. Somebody who's gone rogue. I've died. I've been ganked by a 4-person rogue team. I have yet to be ganked while doing an evac. I think everyone wants the gear so badly. They're not, like you said, the one person who went rogue between the 9 people or whatever, the one person doesn't want to go rogue at the extraction because the 3 other guys around him that are doing extraction are going to probably kill him because they know that he's going to try to kill them. So no, everyone kind of plays nice at the extraction point. So I haven't had that happen.
Yeah.
But I've had a manhunt against one person. I've had 2 people camping an extraction point. I've just farmed really nicely, and I'll pass a couple people. So you never know what you're gonna get. I've been invited to 2 groups. I've only killed 2 people. So that's the thing. I've spent a lot of time in there, and I've only killed 2 people. I killed one today. I felt really bad after killing him. I'll tell you the story. So
okay.
There's 3 guys. I'm one of 3, so there's 4 of us. And I start. We all extract our stuff, and then I'm on my way out of the Dark Zone, but I see somebody went rogue, and I'm like, I know there's like 3 guys over there, so I'm like, it'll be. I run over there, I start blasting him. Well, he's not shooting me back, and I down him, and then a guy who's not going rogue goes and throws one of the heal packs on him, and I'm like, did he go rogue on accident? And I just came and just fucking destroyed him, and it's like, oh, all right. Well, I kind of left, and the death was given to me, and so I got a rogue kill, and but I felt bad afterwards because I was like, he didn't shoot at me. I think he accidentally went rogue, but I was like, you show up rogue on a map, but I'm next to you. I'm gonna try to destroy you. But that's my story of killing somebody who went rogue and feeling bad about it. Kevin, where'd you go? Oh man. Well, I don't know what happened to Kevin, but the Division is fantastic. I like the mechanics. I like the leveling. I think the best part is the end game, which can be dailies on PvE, and also be the Dark Zone, which are there's no real dailies in the Dark Zone, but if you gather those 4 people, you can go up higher, up to the further north you go, the harder the levels, the higher the gear, which is up to DZ06, so Dark Zone Area 6. Solo, I can only barely do Dark Zone 03. And I mean barely. And I have some pretty good gear. DPS, there's some people that are hitting up to like 100,000 DPS. I'm sitting at 50,000, just to give you. So they're doing double the damage. But even at 50,000 DPS, I can barely solo DZ03. Anybody who's in RPGs or cover-based mechanics, I would say definitely check out The Division. And I don't know how long you've been doing this, but I would say I can try to throw another invite out to Kevin here, and see if we can get back on here. If not, we will call this one a wrap for Nerd Farmcast episode 46. I sent that invite out. His phone may have died, whether he's moving around, lost connection, however it went. But beautiful people, I'm Burke. Be nice.